And I found, especially at the beginning, the mindfulness exercises to be so helpful and very insightful, the content as well.
Great.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for all your feedback. You know, it's so important to us to get feedback because it also guides us on topics to cover and, you know, what people really need and are finding interesting. So please keep all the feedback coming. We really, really appreciate it.
I definitely will do so.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Was it whose dad join us for a few webinars?
Yes, my dad did join us. He did join quite a few webinars. Yeah, he just actually started a business towards the end of last year. So I think COVID has been extremely challenging for him, but I know that his business, he's been using a lot of the tools that he's learned here and in other forums as well. And the business seems to be picking up quite nicely. So that's great.
Good.
Awesome. What business have you got?
It's telecommunications.
Okay, interesting. Sure. Great.
Yeah, I did invite him and a few of my friends as well to join today. So hopefully they will, at 12 o'clock, they will join us.
Perfect. And thank you for sharing, and thank you for joining us and just joining this conversation today. We're very
I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
Sipho, I've added Ernest as a panelist so that we can say hi to you, Ernest, if you can see us, or if we can see you and just say hi quickly.
I can see him on my screen.
Okay. You don't have to the panelists. We just want to say hi and just meet all our lovely participants.
There's still 5 of us currently. Awesome. And we always just check in before everyone, just to obviously ground ourselves, to meet each other, to calm the nerves, obviously, because it also comes with that. But just really to get to know one another. So what has been your journey like? I mean, obviously having experienced some of our content, and what have you implemented? You don't have to give the full story because I know you're going to share that, but just give us a little snippet.
So basically, I'm a practicing attorney. I practice at a law firm in Mshanga, and in our company we have mostly female staff. Our directors are males, but there's a lot of ladies here, and it has been like when we first came back to work, we came back in groups, and then as more people started to come back into work, it became challenging because every day when you get to work, people are sharing what they've heard on the news, and they're also sharing their own fears and anxieties. And it's that part of it has trying to maintain a sense of calm. Also, we work in the field of debt arrangement. So many of my clients, unfortunately, have lost their jobs or have not been paid. So we've been inundated with calls and emails. And as much as, I've been in practice now for 9.5 years. So I should have developed a thicker skin, but I'm quite an empathetic person. And it's very hard to shake off, when you're listening to people crying some of the time because they can't make ends meet, and you have to ground yourself and realize that you can do the best that you can to help them, but beyond that, if you are going to take on the burdens of the entire world, it's only going to be to your detriment, and then you're not going to be able to help anybody at all. So that's definitely what the mindfulness exercises that we've practiced here, which I've been using, have definitely helped. And and one of the things I will speak about it later, but I think it was either Sasha or Sipho that used the example of pies, checking in and physically, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, and I absolutely loved it. And I wrote it down, and I gave it to one of the other managers at my office. And together in our personal staff meetings with our team, we've been using it, and it's actually worked so well. So
amazing. That is amazing. That's such good news. Because we did that with the PBF they've continued to do that, and it's been a long time now. And they've also said that it's all these staff together and so much more united by that check-in. I think we just realized that we're all actually people, real people at work. So I love that check-in. Sipo Quasi does it beautifully. Hey, Sipo?
Yeah, it's very important. And because then when you know where people are at, then you know exactly how to engage them. So it's similar to yourself. When you know how you are feeling physically, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually, you also know how to then respond and work with yourself, you know? So I think for me, the gift of mindfulness is really an opportunity for us to really slow down and stop and to listen, you know, to listen to ourselves and then to be able to listen to others. And then you're also then able to navigate. And I think from what you've said is also, once you're able to listen to yourself, you're also then able to set boundaries. One of the things I've learned from Vanna actually during this journey is the whole notion of being able to, you know, regulate. We need to regulate ourselves. And we can only do that when we are mindful and we are very much aware of what happens within the body and ourselves.
Definitely.
Awesome. And I like what you said about starting mindfulness at work, because I think actually we often just need one person to set a precedent. And, you know, this whole thing where we feed each other's fear and anxiety doesn't serve anybody. And if we just make it zero tolerance for any of that at work, it changes the entire work environment. So, for example, at work, our staff all agreed that we wouldn't feed any negativity to each other. If we don't have any good, or we don't feel good that day, we can tell people we don't feel great, but we don't have to feed our anxiety into other people. And just having a positive atmosphere at work changes your day so entirely, and how you relate to clients, don't you find?
Definitely. I think that's so important. And I think that sometimes with fear and anxiety, it has like a rallying kind of effect, because one person tells another person and it just becomes a group anxiety that everybody is now panicking, and you know, the panic creates even more fear. And so when we are calm and we interact with others, that calmness passes on through to them, and they are also able to engage in a more meaningful way and actually be productive and get things done. Because when you're in fear, it's very difficult to actually do things. You feel paralyzed by it. So mindfulness and being calm and grounded is so important.
Well, awesome. Well done for putting all that into place. That's amazing. Hey? I think we have some more panelists. People, can you see them?
Yes, we do. We've got Kim here. Welcome, Kim. And
Hi there.
Hi, Kim.
Hi.
Kim Hewitt. So we're just having a challenge. We've got Vanna, we've got Ernest, we've got Nelistra, and we also have Jabine. I think she's got her camera on, but she's not interacted it. Hello.
Hey.
Hello, and we've got
Hello. Welcome.
Literally, I'm busy pulling in to the driveway right now. I'm pulling into the garage right now. I've had
Don't rush. You've got time. And I'm so pleased you managed to join us. That's awesome. I know you've got a lot of wisdom to share with us. Hey?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I'm hoping that collectively we can help people with things that they don't even realize they're struggling with. You know, sometimes we do things and we don't realize the impact that it leaves on us until somebody actually brings it up. And then only we can to fix it, to heal it, to move on. And I'm hoping that we'll be a part of that today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So to the panelists who've just joined us, we're always checking in just before time. We greet each other and meet each other. And I'm not going to ask us to introduce ourselves because we're going to do that just now. But it's just an official welcome and just gratitude for joining us and being willing to be a part of the panel and to share your journeys with us. We're looking forward to your input.
Great stuff.
We've got 3 more minutes to go, and we've got 8 of us on the panel. We've got 10 attendees. We will start at 12 o'clock. Trish, have you heard anything from Sasha on your side?
I haven't. I think I'm going to just look at her quickly, Paul.
Okay.
Hello, my darling. How are you?
Good.
What? Yes, I will do that for you now.
But I want to recognize.
So this is the end of our first 8 weeks, everyone. But we are continuing because we've had awesome feedback. And initially, this program was actually only going to be an 8-week program. But we have loved the journey and we've learned so much. And a lot of our attendees have asked us to continue. So we definitely have decided we are going to continue. So we'll be setting up some exciting news in the next day or two about where we go from here, but it'll be along the same lines. So for people that are attending our webinars, please share with us what topics you would like experts to cover. Because really to have that guidance helps us enormously if we know what kind of topics you're looking to cover. You know, we've covered law, we've covered finances, businesses in crisis, so many, but we can dig deeper into some of those topics as well. So please share with us if there's anything specific that you'd like to cover in the next upcoming webinar. Well, masterclasses, we'll call them. Has he called?
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm back. We've got Kosi, who's also just joined us in the panel.
Great. Welcome, welcome.
So there's 9 of us and 15 attendees.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hi.
Thanks.
Hi, Kosi.
Nice to see you. Are you good, Kosi?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Are you sitting in Joburg?
Oh, yes, I'm in Joburg. Yeah, but I'm currently working from home at the moment.
Okay, awesome. You gave us some amazing feedback last time, well, not last time, the time before. So thank you. You gave us some really, really good feedback. Thank you so much, Nkosi.
Oh, yes. So the other session that I attended, it was the one for digital marketing. So that was very, very, very beneficial to our company because after that meeting, then after that webinar that we had, I had to go and present it to our director, Jenny. So, and then we have already started to implement some of the stuff which that we discussed about. Like, for example, like our website, it was like actually in a mess. So we're currently working on that at the moment. So we've already engaged someone to start working on it. And also we also gonna be implementing some digital marketing strategies like the social media stuff in the next coming few weeks. So that was very, very, very beneficial.
Amazing. I must say, I also learned a lot from that. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome.
Great. That's good to hear. And Trish, on the chat, I see we've got a beautiful suggestion of a future topic on fear and procrastination. Definitely. I think those are very important conversations.
I love that. I feel exactly the same. I must say, since we've got into lockdown 3, I was so motivated in lockdown 4, and lockdown 3 somehow I feel like in limbo between living a normal life and being locked up, and I do tend to procrastinate, which has been a big problem. So I love that topic. I think it's a great one. And fear, well, we're all living through that. So they're wonderful topics we can cover. Thank you so much, Cassie.
Okay, so it is 12 o'clock.
I'm not sure if Sasha is, I'm sure she'll be coming on.
Yes, so we can just have about maybe a minute or so before we officially start. And while we are waiting, just to welcome all our attendees and our panelists to our hour of mindfulness, innovation, and resilience. And I almost said our last one, but it definitely is not our last one. There's definitely need for us to continue with these conversations as we are navigating not the new normal anymore. They call it the next normal, because obviously things are always changing.
I think it's just no normal, Sipho. I think there's no normal there. It's over. Humanity is over forever. Okay? No normal.
Yeah, no, I like that, Trish. There's no, well, we definitely are having a lot more like new words. You know, there's a whole new vocabulary now that we have. When I was in a meeting earlier on this week and somebody spotted me saying pivot, they were like, yeah, you've also used the new word. Everyone is pivoting. And really today is about us hearing from our participants who have been joining the masterclasses in the past 9 weeks, just to hear how have they pivoted and how have they been innovating, how have they been mindful, and how have they been resilient. And that's really what today is all about. I think I'm going to officially start, Trish, and whoever joins us will join us. We have invited a number of people to join us as panelists today to share their journey. So an official good afternoon to each and every one of you this afternoon. Again, a warm welcome to this hour of mindfulness, innovation, and resilience. My name is Sipokazi Kwakweni, and I am from the Lifelong Learning Academy, and I'm going to be your masterclass facilitator today. And before I introduce you to the panelists, of which I'm actually going to allow them to introduce themselves, I think there's so much value in when people present themselves. I just want to, for those who are joining us for the very first time, basically what started off 10 weeks ago, literally on the 21st of May, has now manifested into a business community of mindful, innovative, and resilient people. So I'd really want to express our gratitude for walking this journey with us. When we started, we didn't know. I mean, Trish approached me and said, Sipho, you know, we've been invited to do this. I said, Trish, I've never done that before, but let's just go. Let's just go with the flow and we'll figure it out. And we can't believe that it's been 10 weeks of this. And this is really a space that has brought so much hope and so much inspiration to us when we're feeling slumped, when we're feeling fearful. This opportunity to connect with everyone has really allowed us to think differently. And for those who are joining us for the first time, I just want to show you just quickly, I do have a short presentation here of everything that we've covered. I can just get to the beginning, just so that you know exactly what it is that we've been up to, and then I'll return to the normal screen. So as I've said, today is about having a conversation about business mindfulness, innovation, and resilience, and it is a conversation with our participants. And for the past 8 weeks, we've covered these topics. So starting from the 21st of May, we really looked at how to evolve your business perspective during and beyond COVID-19. And we had a number of speakers. And I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole entire list, but we've met incredible experts who shared their perspectives, who shared their journeys, who shared their expertise with our participants and us as well. And then we introduced the concept of mindfulness as an intervention for innovation and resilience. And then we went into business rescue options for businesses in crisis. I mean, it is no secret, we are all in crisis. And then we went into digitization, because obviously with lockdown and everything happening, we are living our lives through media, through computers, through digital platforms. And so I think it's very important for us and businesses to actually pivot and adjust to this new or no normal, as we call it now. And then we looked at legal perspectives for businesses in crisis, and we looked at digital sales and marketing. And then we obviously, with this newness, there's a lot of things that we've also realized that we need to unlearn, and there's new things to relearn. So from the simplicity of washing your hands, now there's like, I think I went through a 12-step of how to wash your hands to actually protect yourself. So there's a whole lot of new things that we need to learn about. And then last week, we covered working remotely and the stress that comes with that and how we can actually be productive. And as I've said, today is all about all of us talking about the past couple of weeks. If I can just invite our panelists just to mute your mics for now. And really, to further highlight, we really want to get as many participants onto the panel, so it's still not too late. If you want to join the panel and you've got a story to share that can inspire and motivate us, please do flag us on the chat and you'll be able to. And really what we want to do is to create a community of collaboration. We've had many opportunities to work with other businesses during the past 9 weeks. A lot of other businesses have come together and they're collaborating, and it's true, we really can't do anything alone, and we are always stronger together. And as we've mentioned, our intention was to have this one as our last one. We will definitely be continuing in August with a brand new series, and we've invited you just to please share with us what kind of topics are you interested in. And we will be kickstarting next week, the 6th of August. And obviously it's not a secret, it's Women's Month. And there's been this challenge that has been going around on women, supporting women. So we have also accepted this challenge. And so next week, Thursday, we will be talking about women in business and women supporting each other, just to kickstart the brand new month and the brand new series. And without wasting any time, let me just unshare or stop the share and come back. So we always start each and every session with a mindfulness activity. So I'm going to invite you all just to get comfortable. I definitely need to slow down and catch my breath after all of that I've just started with. So I'm going to invite you just to sit right back into your chair. You may close your eyes or soften your gaze, and I invite you to relax this part of your face, between your eyebrows, relaxing your cheeks. And if you want to turn the corners of your mouth upwards and channeling a beautiful smile, you're more than welcome to do so. And just get comfortable and relax into this moment right here. Dropping your shoulders, making sure that your spine is nice and straight. Your feet are flat on the ground. And just feel the support of the chair beneath you. And feel the support of the ground below the chair. And once you land there, I'm going to invite you now to bring your awareness to your breath. If you've not greeted your breath today, I invite you to do so. Just appreciate your breath, breathing naturally, and just feeling your breath as it comes through your nostrils into your body, listening to your breath, and feel the sensations that come with each and every part of your breath. And as you breathe, I invite you to begin to deepen your breath by breathing slowly and deeply with intention. And we really do this just to really ground you, just to really relax you into this moment right here. And while you're here, I invite you just to scan your body, listen to your body, and just become aware of any areas within your body that just need to be relaxed even further in this moment. Just getting comfortable with the stillness within you. And then I'm going to invite you now just to bring your awareness to your mind, to your thoughts. Where is your mind this afternoon? With no judgment, just pure awareness. Is your mind all over the show? Is it here? Is it calm? And then once you become aware of where your mind is at, I invite you just to bring your awareness back to your breath. Just taking a nice, slow, deep breath in, just filling your body and just filling your lungs with fresh oxygen, fresh air of the day. Relaxing even further into this moment. And today I'm going to introduce some affirmations, positive affirmations, as a tool for mindfulness. And as you still continue to breathe and just in your moment of stillness, you can repeat this within your mind, or if you want to do it out loud, you are more than welcome to do so. So my body is healthy. My mind is calm and brilliant. My soul is at peace. I am doing my best. I choose to be happy. My possibilities are endless. Today is a great day. I am free of worry and regret. My thoughts become my reality. I will not worry about things I cannot control. I will be kind to myself and to others. And lastly, I am grateful for all I have. I invite you now to take a nice, slow, deep breath through the nose and just release that breath through your mouth with a beautiful sigh. Just really letting go of all tension and just further relaxing into this moment. And when you're good and ready, I invite you to slowly open up your eyes. And you may return back into this space. And I am going to hand over to Trish. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sipho. That was awesome, as always. Thank you for grounding us. So I have something to share, which is really interesting, and that is how our mindsets overflow onto other people as well. So in the workplace, if we're not mindful and we act or react negatively, it overflows to other people. So whatever we think and feel, other people pick up. And what's very interesting is I actually told Sipho that today I was going to read a prayer. But then I decided I'm not going to read the prayer. I am going to share it because it's an awesome prayer in a book that I am reading at the moment on mindfulness at work. And so I will share the prayer. But what is very, very interesting is that I decided to share affirmations. And Sipho had no idea. So, we work together and we're both obviously very mindful when we work together. But what's amazing is that without us talking or acknowledging or even checking in with each other, we both chose to share affirmations today. So I think that's quite powerful. And I just wanted to share that little intro to what I'm going to share. So my passion, I'm from Life Retreats, and our passion is actually health and healing and wellness in the workplace. And everybody that I'm coming across at the moment, probably about 95% of people are battling with back pain of some sort. It's either lower back or shoulders or some kind of back pain. And back pain emotionally relates to money and worry. So I thought I'll share a little bit of this with you. And I am a big fan of Louise Hay because I believe that our emotions often dictate our illnesses or our ailments. And if we can change our emotions, it can also heal us to a certain extent. But apart from that, we also need to stay healthy at the moment. We need to really, really look after ourselves. So back issues represent the support of life and money worries. Rounded shoulders represent carrying the burdens of life and feeling helpless and hopeless. Lower back pain is a fear of lack of money or lack of financial support. Mid-back pain is guilt and stuck in all that stuff back there. So our thought is, get it off my back. Upper back pain is lack of emotional support and feeling unloved. So I'm sure if we had to ask everybody today if they have any kind of back pain, they would relate to one of those. And I'll share them with you so that you can actually understand how your emotions are affecting your back. So the affirmations for your back, people, are, I trust the process of life. All I need is always taken care of and I am safe. I release the past. I'm free to move forward with love in my heart. And then I quickly just want to share with you before we bring our panelists on, 8 ways to cope with money problems. Now, these are probably what you don't expect, but they're absolutely essential. Make sleep a top priority. Move your body and exercise. Write a plan to address your financial source and financial stress on paper. Get your finances organized and in order. Review your insurances. Save as much money as you can. Give, give, give. Yes, we all need to give. Money or food or time or energy or support. We can only receive when we give. And lastly, self-care. Self-care for owners, business owners and managers is so vitally important, because if we're not healthy, our businesses are not healthy. So we do need to take care of ourselves. And lastly, I will share the prayer tomorrow in our follow-up letter with all of you because it's an awesome prayer. And I want to thank all our panelists for coming on today. I'm really excited to hear some success stories. And to me, success is just still having your business open, to be honest with you. You know, anyone whose business has survived the last 4 months is a success. So I'm really looking forward to hearing all of that. And to all our experts that have been on our webinars so far, thank you so much. I have learned so much from every single webinar. I have learned something. So I really want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And I'm sure we're going to have some of you back again, because I know there are a lot of people that want to learn more. And not last but not least, to all our attendees, you have no idea how rewarding it is getting all the emails and all the feedback, and actually just having you on the webinars, because for me personally, it's quite isolating working from home. So I really look forward to our Thursdays, and I love seeing familiar names coming up and making new friends and people that I wouldn't normally have met. So for everybody that has and will continue to join us, we are eternally grateful. Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to hand over back to Sipakazi.
Thank you so much, Trish. Thank you, thank you. I do hope somewhere at the end you might be able to read that prayer for us in closing. So don't take it away just yet. So now we're going to get right into the crux of things with our panelists who are going to be sharing their journey. And I want to invite Vanna to share that that little snippet that he shared with us when we were starting, Trish, which is linked to what you were saying now about a success story is basically still having a business that's operating during this time. Vanna?
Yes, sorry. Now I need to look for it quickly.
Sorry, I put you on the spot today. I'm so sorry about that.
Yes, I've got it. So it says, if you can run a business on level 3 lockdown with stage 2 load shedding in a double recession, You can make it anywhere in the world.
There we go. Definitely. So, in no particular order, I'm just going to invite any one of our panelists who would like to go first. If nobody jumps up, then I will take the opportunity to choose anyone who would want to go.
Okay, I'll start. Morning, everyone. My name is Refilwe. I've been part of the mindfulness program since it started. So I was a panelist in a few of these webinars. But today I actually, after we started, I thought maybe I should actually be a participant. Well, I am a participant because I actually came in a very, very bad mood. And the affirmations were healing. I came in quite late because I was like, no, I don't want to come in today. And I remembered how some of the panelists said how this platform actually changes the whole, your whole mood and everything. And I thought, let me come in. And I think Trish, your introduction was actually very, very valuable to me. And it's actually something that I'm going through. And I thought, as I was sitting here, I was like, oh, wow, there's a reason why I actually attended now today, not as a panelist per se, but rather as an attendee for me to get something out. Because, you always give, and sometimes you don't allow space for you to receive. And today, I think I'm going to introduce myself as Refilwe. Yes, I am part of the panelists, but today I'm going to receive. It's like I just got that affirmation that I need to receive today. And thank you very much for this platform. It's nice meeting everybody, and looking forward to the rest of the panelists sharing their stories. Thank you.
Thank you, Refilwe. Thank you, and welcome, Spamandla. Welcome to the panelists. So we basically are at that part where we are opening up to our panelists just to share their journeys of success. And let me start with Spamandla. I'm not punishing you for joining us now, but let's hear from you.
I hope I'm very audible, Bobadi. Is it good?
Yes. Right. Good. Hi.
Hi. So I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna just kick up with a quick PowerPoint and just so you can see what I do and just explain to you, which company I come from and what we focus on. I hope you don't mind. Can I share my screen?
Please do. You're welcome.
All right. So there we go. All right. So my name is Pamandla, as Kwazi had mentioned. I come from Lusigisigi in the Eastern Cape. I started Local Village Foods about 4.5 years ago. And the purpose really of the business was to work with various rural farmers across the African continent. So we specialize in African superfoods. And so some of the opportunities, or challenges that one saw as they started the business was mainly the food insecurity, and also villages in various rural communities not participating in the economy, or people migrating into cities, causing that overpopulation. And yet, instead of us focusing on rural communities, perhaps to create activity, that was the other challenge I recognized when I started this. And the other thing, which is also a good thing, probably is population growth in the continent, and it still continues to grow. That for us is an opportunity that we've seen, and also just the growing number of GMO foods in the marketplace that we had identified. So that was a challenge we saw. And obviously the continuous issue that we advocate for is climate change, and just seeing how much food or waste, or rather from a packaging point of view, but also from crops that we are growing or food that we're consuming is coming from just from a few crops, and we're not being sustainable in the way we were farming and eating food. And then the other main issue was around health, that really around the continent in terms of the growing number of obesity that we find. So we wanted to provide that health and alternative as well. So our key products as a business, we focus on African indigenous foods, and foods that are also naturalized within the African continent. By indigenous, we talk about grain, we look at gluten-free flour, we look at legumes and various superfoods. Same thing as well with the foods that have been naturalized in the African continent, such as cassava, moringa, that is not from Africa, but has been naturalized as part of a staple now as a continent. So that's really what we do as a focus, just to give an introduction on local village foods. And perhaps just a few visuals of our range. So as I said, it's grain, it's superfoods, it's gluten-free flours, just to name a few that we do. I think also just as I mentioned about climate change, in terms of our food, so we've really looked at foods that are, as a brand, we've looked at foods that are good for the climate in terms of whether it's drought or there's too much rain, the farmers can still produce and still be able to earn a living across the continent. So some of these products, for instance, have been featured as sort of future foods and few foods to look at for farming for our future that are good for climate. And yeah, just to name a few. That's pretty much who we are as a brand. I'm going to stop sharing. Trish?
Yes. Are you back?
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
I will stop sharing the screen, yeah. But that's pretty much who we are as a brand. So we're still operating now. I think during COVID as well, even when COVID started, but it's also not been an easy journey for us as a business. But we've seen some, I'll probably sort of talk about that a bit later, but we've seen some, where we've had to pivot, where we've had to change or also stick to who we are and our ethos. And the importance, I think, for me, was highlighting in terms of what are the challenges that we found and why we started the business, was to sort of give our audience perhaps an emphasis in terms of, why we do what we do. And even though there's COVID, those challenges still exist and we still need to address those challenges. And so I think every business that starts, there's always a why we start. And this is why we started what we do. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
I hope you can share some recipes with us.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Spamandla. And then anybody wants to go next, or I can also pick, I don't mind. Lestra, can I ask you to come on? Thank you.
Thank you, Trish and Sipakazi. My name is Nalestra Padiachi. I am an attorney practicing in KwaZulu-Natal, Umhlanga. I work for a company called Boyson & Company. We specialize in debt rearrangement, administration orders for over-indebted estates, as well as debt review. And I actually manage the debt review department here. I am also quite a vocal social activist, and I would call myself a card-carrying feminist. I am very, very interested in women's rights. And one of my areas of expertise as an attorney is domestic violence. And as you guys will all know, that domestic violence is something that is so topical today, and especially with lockdown. During level 5 of lockdown, we didn't have alcohol, and then alcohol was introduced, and then it was stopped again. And all of these social factors have contributed greatly to the rise in domestic violence. And that was actually what pushed me to actually raise my hand and tell Trish that I will be a part of today's panel, because I wanted us in both the private and the public sector to be mindful not just of our own well-being and the well-being of our colleagues, but also of anxiety and the battles they're facing. And I think that it's very important that we get involved wherever we can, even in very small ways, and highlight these issues and start a conversation, because abuse in particular thrives in silence. And so once we start a conversation, we are reaching out our hand to help others and definitely making an impact and making the world a better place. So thank you guys very much for this opportunity. And I look forward to sharing a little bit more about these issues as we go on.
Thank you. And we definitely will share, because I'm also getting a lot of people contacting me about domestic violence and where they go and what do they do. So it's a big problem in our society. So we'll definitely be continuing with a lot of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I mean, it is all about conversation. And these are the times where we need to be having more and more of these conversations. And we can't help but be grateful for such platforms, you know, because now we are able to actually engage. I mean, none of us, I've only probably met 4 people personally on this platform, but we are able to still have these conversations. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm going to invite Kim. Can I put you on the spot, Kim? I'm sorry, I saw you were shocked there.
Hi to everyone, and thank you for Trish for inviting me onto this platform. I have a business called Success and Color. I am a transformation life coach, an intuitive guide. I'm also a lay counselor, and I work with formerly Lifeline. I also work with abused women, so I can relate to that story that we were chatting about earlier. I also I host talk shows, and these days I do speaking and promoting opportunities just in a relaxed manner on my Facebook page. And I've also just been meeting so many interesting people through this. I'm also a mindfulness practitioner. I can't think of all. I come from 30 years of being in a corporate environment. And what I did is I left that world to follow my passion and my intuition and create my own business, Success in Color, because I felt it was so necessary. It was about almost 3 years ago I did it, and I must say that there were a lot of people that said, "You're absolutely crazy to do this. Why are you leaving this corporate world to start this practice in life coaching and so on?" And it's so strange that all this happened, because this is exactly why I left. I left that world to start my own sort of business, because I felt passionate about giving back and paying forward what I had learned through my own experiences in my own life, and obviously through all my learning, you know, through my whole journey, through my whole adventure. So that is actually who I am and what I do. And yes, just grateful to be part of a panel like this and to chat to you guys today. And thank you again for inviting me.
Amazing. Thank you. Sipho, are you there?
Yes,
can we ask Corey to come on? Because I would love to know what he actually learned in the marketing one, and share it with some of the people that weren't on the marketing, on the digital marketing webinar, because I thought that was also a very valid one to all of us. And Corey, would you like to share a little bit about what you learned on that webinar? Are you there?
His mic is on mute. Yeah,
mute.
Yeah, his mic is on mute. Ngosi?
Maybe you can't hear us. We'll have to ask you.
Perhaps while we're waiting for him, Sasha. I see Sasha is here now. Sasha, there she is.
Hi guys. Sorry, I'm in the car, and but I pulled over and I've decided to have a coffee while I do it. I was in a meeting, quite an important board meeting, and then luckily it ended late, and I thought, okay, let me try and get home, but I thought, no, I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to get into this call. Welcome everybody. So I'm going to ask Sipho if you can just give me are we in introduction phase, because I've just literally come in, so I've missed quite a lot.
My mic. Yes, sorry, my mic was on mute there. So we basically are chatting to our participants, our panelists. We've done all introductions, and we've heard from Spamandla, from Nelistra, we've heard from Kim, we've heard from Refilwe, and there is, I'm just counting now, I think there's about there's 11 of us in the panel, and we've got 29 attendees, and we're just introducing ourselves and what it is that we've learned in the past 9 weeks, and how businesses have thrived, and how businesses have also applied mindfulness, innovation, and resilience. So perhaps you can.
So I mean, I have a lot to tell actually in that sense, because for me, I mean, this is a program where we thought, when talking to yourselves and Trish about this, we thought, wow, this would be a great way to help small businesses. We knew the lockdown was about to hit. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. What I didn't expect was my own personal growth through this process, and even that of my team and of the business unit that we manage. I mean, wow, what a transformation this process has helped us. Personally, I think last week I reflected on how I was extremely anxious, how it moved from me saying, how can I help, to my own anxiety, and being able to talk through it, reflect it, and share, and how the positive feedback and engagement helped me with my own personal anxiety of COVID. From a work perspective, with the team doing this mindfulness program with us and with our subscribers, we've transformed. Our business unit is completely different to what it was. We're digitally efficient. The whole business has changed. Everyone's roles and responsibilities have changed. We all work remotely now. I think we're getting a high level of output. But more than that, we have a sense of team camaraderie that was never there. And I think it was through the practicing of mindfulness, through the touching base, checking in every Friday, we check in with each other. And that's what I imagine. When one goes on a journey to help others, you grow yourself. And this has been a beautiful experience for me. And I'm excited to hear what others have to say. Unfortunately, I missed the first few, but yeah, I'm happy. Thank you, Sipokazi. Thank you, Trish. Thank you, the PBF. Even though I represent the PBF, this vision has really turned into something beautiful. And I hope that we can continue this in some way or form moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Sash, and thank you to the PBF for this wonderful opportunity and introducing it really is awesome. Thank you so much. And what's amazing is you weren't here when we spoke earlier, but one of the essentials that I spoke about is for us to succeed, we need to give back. And you said exactly the same. And I also said how when we work mindfully, we work intuitively together. So we could work intuitively and pick each other's up, good vibes up, or if we bring in a lot of negativity, we can really, really put that onto other people. So it's amazing. You, Sipakazi, and I've all picked up on a similar thread today without even discussing it, which is really interesting. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Sasha. Thank you for that, Trish. I'm going to hand over now to Mehaj Bean. Can we hear from you? And I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Thanks for the opportunity to be able to share a little bit of myself. By nature, I'm actually an introvert, so this is quite out of my comfort zone. But I think that's what COVID's done. It's made us reevaluate, it's made us think beyond ourselves. And let me start at the very beginning. My name is pronounced as Mahjabeen. And that's an entire session on its own. So we're not even going to get into that. People generally call me MJ or even just M because it's a lot easier. Occasionally, I have people who ask me, how do you spell M or MJ? You know, that happens. But that's life, you know. So I basically represent 4 different strands of things. We do a lifestyle club. It is based on network marketing, so I'm not going to get into that. I also write professionally. I'm a copywriter, so I'm not going to get to that either. The other 2 things I do, which have taken up most of my time now recently, is I have a company called Grandeur Wellness, where we do holistic therapy. Okay, so in terms of holistic therapy, we're talking about the usual beauty therapy, except that we use things like hypoallergenic wax. We promote threading over waxing, you know, that kind of holistic mindset. But beyond that, I'm also a kinesiologist. And so I found that during COVID, That's been the thing that's been keeping me the most busy, because I think people have had a chance to sit at home. But every disease in the body is as a result of dis-ease of your body's own.
I think MJ is freezing, and I think she's saying some really good things. I'm hoping we can reconnect. Okay, we've lost her there. I think she's.
Nkosi back yet or not?
Yeah, let's just check on Ngosi. Ngosi.
I want to hear about everything. Oh, are you there? Ah, yes, we'd love you to share some of the things that you learned in the digital marketing webinar for people that weren't on it, because I also thought it was an amazing webinar and I learned a lot. Or actually, we've had 2 of them and they've both been awesome. Please share with us.
Okay, so from the last session, that I attended on digital marketing, we realized that we are now sort of like in a, I would say like maybe like it's sort of like a slightly different world than the one that we used to live before, like 4 months back. And we got to realize that we just need to eventually move from our comfort zone that we were before, and also the way of conducting business, and also the way of interacting with our clients. Because the company that I'm working for, like, we are in a metering business. So basically we deal with prepaid supply and management of those prepaid meters for water, electricity, and gas. So most of our clients, they were basically used to the traditional communication methods of walking through to the office for assistance, or maybe for anything or any inquiries, or maybe just picking up a phone and coming to us, or yeah. So now we got to realize that in order for us to get to survive in the current economic situation, we definitely need to change our mindset. We definitely need to change the way we conduct business, the way we interact with the clients, because if we continue being comfortable with the old ways, we're not going to get to survive. So I would say on the first and second month of the lockdown, we saw our sales department was greatly affected because like most people couldn't get to move around or come to the office to get to buy meters, or maybe to get to offer us like maybe new business and everything. So we then had to realize, okay, after like I had to attend the previous session, I learned a lot, like on the different digital marketing methods that we can get to implement, like the social media, email marketing, and other like electronic methods that we can get to use. So in the past few weeks, we have some plans already in place to get to implement the strategies like that I learned previously. Like, for example, we had to focus on social media and the email marketing systems, and also the the other various methods that we learned. And I would get to say that in the past few weeks, we have seen an increase in the way we get to communicate with our clients, because now we managed to increase like our sales, like when we started like to implement those strategies that I learned, and then I went back to get to implement. So the sales, like, they increased, and then also we got to increase that personal touch that we have with our clients, not for them to get to feel like neglected, because now they can't travel to the office because of like certain like restrictions, or because now they can't get to do like the other ways that they use to communicate with us. So now there was that increased personal touch for them to get to know that, okay, they are not being neglected, and also for us to continue giving them like that service in such a way that they still feel appreciated, such that they won't maybe end up having like thoughts of maybe moving to other competitors that we have. So, and then the other thing that we also experienced, which is also like a good thing, is that we also got to understand what our clients are going through after we open those communication like channels. And then we had to understand what they're going through, how are they feeling about this situation, so that we can get to evaluate and see what are the measures that we can get to put in place for us to be of much assistance to them due to certain constraints that they might be going through. So I would say that digital marketing, like, it's very important, like at this time, and it's no longer like a luxury, because some people get to see it like, I mean, like as a luxury, to say, okay, no, maybe that's for bigger companies who have got bigger budgets. They're the ones that maybe like they can get to implement that, but it's no longer that way. It's something that is now like an essential thing that has to be implemented from now going forward. It has to be a must. I mean, like for any business to get to survive and pull through in this economic situation, even after this pandemic like is over, I believe that digital marketing like is the future. It's not something that we just only have to use now during this pandemic in order to survive, but beyond that. So yeah, so I would say like that, like there is something like very good that we have to implement, and we basically like learned a lot from the other session, and we have put it into practice, and we slowly reviewing like the results of those things that we had to put in place. We impressed at the moment with how things are going, though there is still more that we still, I mean, like developing like our websites and everything. So yeah, so I'll get to be sharing feedback like as we go, but so far we impressed, and it has been like a very like it was a very good seminar that you attended, and yeah, we're happy.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Ngosi. And this is why we created this platform, so that we are able to share useful information for all of us to be able to navigate this I can't even call it new anymore. This normal. MJ, I'm glad you're back. I think you were in the middle of very important things there. So if you can just unmute your mic, and please let's continue to hear from you.
Hi. For some reason, the gremlin skipped in. My router decides to be on the blink at the second, so we're just ignoring that and moving on. I'm not quite sure where I cut off with you. Do you remember?
I think you were introducing yourself now as I think psychology or something. And
okay, kinesiology.
Yes.
Okay, so kinesiology is based on the premise that every disease is based on dis-ease in the body. Okay, it's based on your body's own energy flow being stuck. And this relates from everything from a headache to a gambling addiction, you know. And I found that during COVID, I think because people were at home, because they weren't occupied with their regular routines, they've had a chance to kind of reconnect with themselves in a manner. And so people have had a chance to realize what they're really frustrated about, what they're really depressed about. Old things have popped up that they haven't thought about in so many years. That's been a recurring theme. And I think that although COVID is pretty much obliterating our idea of any kind of normal, I've been using the term my normal, you know, because new normal doesn't mean anything. New normal changes every split second, you know, everything changes. I think if we stick to a concept of my normal is what works for me. And if everybody adopts this, then it works for them. And I think our challenge is figuring out how to make all the my normals work together. So that's the third thing I do. And then the fourth thing I do is I've got a company called Holistic Organics, where we retail, wholesale, and also try to do a bit of education around sustainable living, or more sustainable living than what you're currently living. And I think if we all do our parts in the same direction, we can start thinking of rebuilding our world as though everything we give becomes a brick, and everything we take becomes the cement that sticks it all together. And if we all keep giving and taking in the right proportions, we'll rebuild the world together. It's just a matter of knowing where that balance is. That for me is really the basis of everything. It's balance. There's obviously a lot more that I can say about everything, because that's pretty much what I do. But I think for now that should suffice.
Thank you. And balance, I think balance is very, very, very important in this current context. We have, I mean, we've got obviously now access to technology where I think Trish and I were talking about it earlier on in the week. Now you have to be forced to stop to work because work is accessible, you know? And where is then the balance? And I think even this whole entire crisis that we find ourselves has forced us to really stop and find the balance in everything, you know? And as we're talking about balance, I want to go to Vanna, and I mean, who's also a mindfulness facilitator, and just to hear your input. Yeah, just to hear your input. I mean, obviously you've been part of the panel for, I think this is the 4th time that you're with us. And what are you picking up, and what do you want to share more of from your perspective, especially in light of balance?
Yes, in terms of balance, I think if we, you know, sort of what I'm hearing at the moment is there's a lot of talk about stress. And I think where one should start is start looking at your relationship towards stress and depression. We often want to sort of fight against stress and try and get rid of it. And I think we should maybe start, like, as I mentioned, looking at the relationship, see if we can bring in an attitude of curiosity. And it's very difficult to bring kindness and compassion to things that cause us to suffer. So I think a good place to start is curiosity. And we need to maybe also look at trying to stop thinking our way out of stress and trying to implement the wisdom of the body. So it all starts with mindfulness, of course. We need to be aware in what state we are in and our body sensations, type of thoughts they are, and emotions that go with that. Balance is quite a hard one, I think, because we go through all these various states throughout the day, and there's different triggers that puts us in these various states. So, as you mentioned earlier, it's all about regulating ourselves and using others as well to co-regulate. Trish mentioned earlier that in the workplace they sort of implemented that they don't want to bring in quite negative stories, and that's absolutely true. If we look at it from a primitive level, if we look at animals, for instance, if there's a couple of zebras grazing in the grass and one of them have a sniff of a predator, he starts running and the rest of them all start running as well. And we share the same nervous system with most of other mammals as well. So we sort of the same. But we need to also start creating a safe place in the workplace where we can start talking about feelings. And create a sort of environment where it's not evaluating and judging the other one, and more that they can share the feelings and listen to that person. Because just by listening to that person, let that person take from what's inside of them outside, and having someone listening to them is already will calm the nervous system. It doesn't mean you have to fix that person, because we need to stop trying to fix other people, because they will fix themselves, but just listening and creating an environment where that person can feel safe and non-evaluative, I guess. So yeah, just to bring it back on the balance, balance is all just being aware where you are in terms of which state which is obviously engagement state, or relaxed, and I can manage stress and anything that comes my way. And then there's a fight-flight state, which we all know is fear and stress. And then there's the shutdown, frozen state, which we can say feels like depression. And it's all normal states, and it's all states that actually trying to protect us. So if we can see it in that way, we can maybe work with it a bit more intelligently instead of trying to get rid of it. So that's pretty much my message.
Thank you, Werner. Thank you so much. And as you were speaking, in our organization, we've got a culture of checking in, and we were talking about it even earlier. So a typical check-in, and you are not allowed to mess with anybody's check-in because it's not yours, so you can't ask questions about what people have said. So what a check-in would look like in our case would be introducing yourself, and all the time you like, I've been there for 4 years, and every time I must introduce myself. So good morning or good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sipokazi Kwakweni, and today physically I am feeling fit and strong, and intellectually my mind is very excited and it's ready, and I'm just learning a lot from this platform, and emotionally I am content and I'm happy, and spiritually I am forever grateful and tuned in. And with that, I check in. So that is our normal practice. And we talk about feelings. And I know it's something that is quite difficult to do in the professional workspace, but it's becoming more and more relevant. And it also helps very well to build solid relationships with your team. And we talk about magic at work. We talk about love, and I was attending another webinar earlier on in the week around leadership, leading for possibility. And they were talking about love. And I was talking about how we need to also get into a point where we are able to normalize conversations about love in a professional context. So that's just my little 2 cents from your point, Werner. Trish?
Yes, so I think what's really, really interesting is when we started these webinars 10 weeks ago, obviously our focus is on business and our businesses and surviving. But the focus then was very much literally on how is my business going to survive. And, sadly, some people's businesses haven't survived, but maybe they have other opportunities coming up, and let's hope so. But what I am finding with people whose businesses have survived is that they're now going back to square one, literally, and looking at themselves. And I see words like grounding, managing stress, being healthy coming up over and over again. And it actually makes me feel really excited, because I do know that for any businesses to succeed, we actually need to begin with ourselves. So we've got in a full circle from the focus of our businesses now to focusing on ourselves. And I think ultimately through focusing on ourselves, living balanced lives, being grounded, we are going to perform so much better. And ultimately, I think our businesses will too. And also giving opportunities, it's not so much about me anymore. It's more about how are we going to survive this, and how can we support each other's businesses. So I feel great hope in the future. I think it's going to take a while to get all our businesses up and running again. But I think the fact that a lot of business owners are looking at themselves takes us to a really, really good space to begin our new journey.
Thank you, Trish. Thank you very much. And we are at the top of the hour, and I just want to allow a round from all our panelists. If you have any closing remarks or anything that you would like to share. And Trish, let's also look out for questions from our participants.
Please ask us questions, loads.
Sipo, I just want to share something importantly with something that I've gained in these past weeks from attending the mindfulness webinars. Apart from the actual content, which I found to be very, very helpful in many different areas, I've also gained a certain amount of confidence by seeing other people, just everyday people, coming onto a webinar and sharing their stories. I found it to be very inspiring. And for Mandela Day, I actually hosted my own webinar on how to combat domestic violence, because as we all said, we're working from home, and particularly I myself, because of certain health conditions haven't been able to go to court and represent my clients as I usually would. I have very kind colleagues who went on my behalf, but you do feel a little bit debilitated by not practicing your normal life. And I would love to go to court myself. So I thought, how could I best help people from where I am? And so I did my own webinar, and it actually was quite well attended, not just by family and friends, but by other people as well. And one of the things I did use was that exact exercise, the mindfulness exercise, not only just in my webinar to begin with, but also as a tool that we could use where you suspect somebody who in your life who may be encountering domestic violence, because it's something that's very difficult to speak about. So I actually went through that whole physically, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually checking in with our friends and our colleagues as a means of maybe opening up a conversation to the extent where you continuously check in with someone and eventually they find you to be a safe space where if they are going through a problem, they will be able to come to you and you will be able to be that safe space for them and possibly, if need be, give them the help that they need. So thank you very, very much. I'm so grateful to all of you. And thank you for yet another wonderful webinar. And I'm so glad that you guys are continuing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. Kim, any closing remarks?
Just thank you again. And I am a facilitator on a personal growth program locally that they also do over a 10-week period. So to find this platform is wonderful because obviously that's all face-to-face and that's not happening at the moment. So it's good to be here. But I've also carried a lot of these similar ideas through in terms of my own workshops that I do. And coming from a business background as well, that was one of my main goals and main aims, is to take this type of platform, this type of idea, this type of mindfulness back into the business world, because yeah, they need color in the business world. It's a very gray world and they need that color, they need that interaction from within. And like we said earlier, everything starts with us. So if every person can start with themselves, then obviously it will overflow into your business world, into your personal life, and so on. So thank you.
Absolutely. It definitely does start with the self, and then a lot flows from that. Thank you very much. Nkosi, any closing remarks from your side? If you can just unmute your mic, there we go.
Okay, cool. Okay, like for now, nothing much, but I would love to continue like attending these webinars because they seem to be very insightful and very productive. So I would appreciate like if maybe going forward I get all the invitations so I can get to also participate and also get to share some stuff with other guys as well, and also at the same time get to learn as well from the other guys. So I would highly appreciate if maybe I can get all those invitations going forward, and then I can be part of these ongoing webinars. Yeah.
Definitely. We will definitely be continuing to share the invitations with you. Siphamandla, can I open up to you to share your closing remarks?
Yeah. Now, thanks guys for having me again. I think for me, my take home now, talking about mindfulness and focusing on the individual, working on you instead of just, obviously when you work on yourself, then it's better for your entity. But two things perhaps I'd like to just to touch on. I think, I've heard a lot in around the investment discussions where people say, you bet on the jockey, not the horse, in terms of not the idea itself, that it's important. I think whatever circumstances happen, such as COVID or whatever other catastrophes and disasters in the near future we'll have to probably encounter, that it's as critical to really focus on you and why you do what you do, because ideas, they come and go, and you can always change and implement and find something. But if you don't have inspiration and motivation within, then unfortunately, COVID comes and then you close shop and you call it quits, you call it a day. But if you focus on the jockey, I mean, horses will probably change now and again, ideas, you'll find various ideas. Then the other thing I think is very, very important, and I found in business, I mean, when I explained earlier in terms of why I do what I do, focusing on food and working with small scale farmers across the continent, that why for me is one of the most important things. Because I think when it's tough and when it's hard, I think about, okay, I've got a business that has employees, that it's not just about me and whatever turnover we make. It's not just about that, but it's about their sustainability, it's their survival, and they need to take care of their families too. And it's also about our partners, our suppliers, our distributors, our clients. So I think sometimes we so focus on just us that, okay, we're struggling with cash flow, or COVID has come, I'm just going to close shop, and that's all our focus. But we don't realize that the gifts that we have and the talents that we have as individuals, godly gifted talents, that we could utilize that to serve other people, to serve our communities, to serve the nation, to serve our family. So that talent and that skill set, I think we shouldn't be selfish about it, because life is hard. I think we should utilize it and make a difference in our societies. I don't think governments will solve any problems. I think solutions lie within this panel right now, within this webinar, the participants, and many other people who dare to wake up in the morning and choose to make a difference, and choose to put a smile on their face and say, you know what, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do what I need to do. It might be something small. You don't have to be employing 1,000 people, but even if you're employing one person, it means that somebody else is able to put food on the table for their family and to be a blessing in their community and make a difference. So it's not just about us. So the why is important, and I'd encourage us to really dwell on that, to say, why do I do what I do? Because that is everlasting, more than the idea itself. Thanks.
Thank you so much. That's such a powerful closing and very, very relevant. Thank you so much, Pamandla. MJ, any closing words?
Hi. Yes, just two things, touching back on what she just said now. I think that the me versus we debate is an age-old one. And I think we need to stop thinking about things to such an extent that we end up overthinking. I think being able to look at yourself and saying, this is what I bring to the table, doesn't have to be a boastful or arrogant sentiment, as long as you know what you're going to use those gifts for. And there's nothing wrong in looking after yourself first, because if you don't look after yourself first, you have nothing to help anybody else from. And at the same time, we also need to be mindful about the people around us, be mindful about their journeys, be mindful about what they're going through. It's so easy for us to react to a slight or perceived slight even, you immediately up in arms and in defense. Sometimes the other person's going through a battle you know nothing about. Sometimes they are defensive because they are fighting something that isn't even on your radar. So I think we need to be mindful about the me versus we, and try and find a balance that we can strike there without feeling guilty of reaching out and saying, I'm having a down day, I need assistance. There's nothing weak about that. I think we've gotten to the point of understanding that I need to do everything myself and then I can say I'm strong. It's not about that. Sometimes there's strength in reaching out and saying, today, I need you to assist me with one thing. And at the same time, again, coming back to balance, making sure that we don't take advantage of our support system, making sure that we don't trade that for our own independence. Before you know it, you're sitting there and you're no longer able to navigate for yourself because you've handed everything over. And then the second thing is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. COVID is a thing. It's come, it's going to go at some point, and life will go on, because that's who we are. We are resilient human beings. And for me, all it offers us, every challenge offers us an opportunity. it offers us an opportunity to either crumble or to grow. And that decision lies with us. And that doesn't mean that if you make the decision to grow, you've got to grow every day. I mean, we all have those days when you wake up and you think, oh, today I just can't. But at some point, you've got to pick yourself up and say, well, today I can. And then you do, and you capitalize on what you can do. And you don't carry around the guilt of what you can't do, because you are human and you need to respect your own body's clock. And I think if we can remember that there are set patterns in our lives and we still have free will around those things, we'll all be fine. We just need to remember that we don't live in an island. We need each other. We need each other. That's it.
Absolutely.
Wow. Such powerful words from everybody. Thank you so much. I personally get very emotional, and we live in the most amazing country, guys. We have to make this work. Somehow we have to make our businesses work, because this country is just awesome. I think we have the best people here with the best attitudes, resilience, just amazing. And I love it. I love hearing all of this. But MJ, you brought up something, and I got a WhatsApp this morning, so I'm going to read it to you quickly because it's quite relevant to what you brought up. I have found, and I'm sure a lot of you have found, clients quite rude these days. If they kept waiting or anything, I found that the tolerance level of people is very low. And it's very disturbing for myself, and it's very disturbing for my employees. And I've tried to explain to them that it's from where that person comes from. It's not actually about them or us. So someone sent me this WhatsApp. I'm going to read it to you. If you're willing to look at another person's behavior towards you as a reflection of the state of their relationship with themselves, rather than a statement about your value as a person, then you will, over a period of time, cease to react at all. So I think all I can say is, with the anxiety and anger that people are feeling and bringing to our businesses, we don't have to react. We just have to understand that they're also going through bad times. So thanks for bringing that up, MJ.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We have Ernest, and we haven't heard from him, but I also don't want to put him on the spot. But in case he does change his mind, he's definitely more than welcome to share something with us. And I think for me, in closing, we are all vulnerable at this point in time. And I think that alone is a beautiful thing, because now we can literally just really hold each other's hands and find the solutions. And you're absolutely right. We've been waiting for government to solve these issues. And in reality, it is also quite ridiculous for us to actually expect one entity to solve all these problems when we are all existing. So definitely, I think it is entirely up to us to make a difference and to change things. And yes, it does start with yourself within, before then it actually leads to others, because we really cannot give from an empty cup. It's first to really build your vessel so that you're able to support others, or else you're going to be breaking your own back. So again, it is all about balance. I think lastly, it really does go to the balance. Thank you, Susan. Susan has put in a note here to say she loves my lampshade. It actually says, when it rains, look for rainbows, and when it's dark, look for stars. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, everyone. We are over our hour, and we always let it flow, because such is life. I'd really like to really thank our panelists, our participants, for really walking this journey with us. When we started, we didn't know where this thing would end. We've survived your internet traffic. We've survived load shedding. We've survived being kicked out. We've survived everything that can come with this new world. And ours is just to continue to thrive. And I wish you all the best. And I am looking forward to seeing more of you every Thursday at 12 o'clock for our hour of mindfulness. So we are definitely continuing, and keep a watch out in your mailboxes, and follow us at Life Retreat on social media. You'll get all of the information. Thank you so much, everyone. And in closing, I want to say namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all our awesome experts experts we've had over the last 8 weeks, and for some of you that came back now, thanks for the lessons. And we're not saying goodbye, but once again, thank you for everybody that's attended. And please, please, please email us or comment here, but let us know what you would like to hear more of, because we want to chat about what you want to hear about. So please, please, please give us feedback. It is invaluable. Okay. Yeah. Awesome week. And thank you first of all to Sasha, who's not here anymore, and the PBF for hosting us and for putting us on the spot and pushing us into doing this, because it's been a wonderful journey. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have started it. So thank you to the PBF and to Sasha, and to my wonderful partner, Sipa Kazi, my partner in crime, who's definitely reading my mind these days. Thank you, Sipa. It's been awesome doing the 8 weeks with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And I'm grateful that we're able to continue and just to connect. And we're going to hang around for a bit. I mean, if there's any comments, any suggestions, please feel free to share with us. We want to make this as relevant as possible. And we are also looking at even changing the format for for the upcoming ones to make them more interactive, actually, rather than just pure webinars. It's just really been very fruitful to really engage with people rather than just only talk at people. So which is why we opened up this one, so that we're able to engage with our participants. So please do continue to join us. And we're just really looking forward to hearing more from you. And just tell us what it is that you want to hear from.
Anyone has any questions, Sipo, on webinars that we've had up to now, please ask us now, because possibly we may have some experts that can answer them still, and if not, we'll still answer them. But we'd love you to ask any questions that you still have if we haven't covered things. Hey, Sipo?
Yes, definitely, definitely, Trish. We're very open to further communication and obviously assisting where possible. And our panelists are still there. And I mean, if anyone also wants to become a panelist, they've got something to share with our audience, more than welcome to write to us. We are very open. This is not an exclusive community. Everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
Great.
Any more Q&As before we say goodbye? No more Q&As.
No more, just gratitude, 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 gratitude. Thank you so much, ladies. It's just been so beautiful to be with you today. We're very, 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 very grateful for taking time out of your busy schedules to just really join our community and just share your journeys with us. Thank you. It's very meaningful for us to know that what we're doing has actually touched people and it's made a difference. So thank you so much, and do continue to share it with others in your communities as well. Thank you.
I think that's it. No more comments. Hey, Sipo?
No more.
Sure. Our speakers were so inspirational. I feel so inspired now. I feel so excited to be part of South Africa. Hey? It's such an exciting country to live in. It's awesome. With all our pros and cons, it really, I don't think people anywhere in the world are as positive and resilient. Hey? It's amazing. So thanks for all the inspiration, everybody, on the panel today.
Thank you. There we go.
I think, does nobody have any more questions before we go? We don't want to leave you. No.
Thank you for being here, Samantha. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Great.
Right.
So we can switch. I'll stop
now. And we will just send everybody an email to send the link to the recording. So if you have missed or somebody missed part of it, you're welcome to share it. And information about our upcoming webinars. That is very exciting. We've got coming up. Okay. So thank you, everybody. Have an awesome week.
And I think just in closing, I mean, if you've got any interesting themes and if you want to be part of the panel for August, it's Women's Month. And I think we've all spoken a lot about obviously some of the issues that are impacting us, especially during these times. And I mean, holistic. I think anything that's holistic and mindful would be very appreciated. So please do write to us if you want to be part of the panel. I think you've shared so much powerful messages, and we don't want to.
And also, it doesn't exclude men, because I've had some amazing messages from men saying how they become so aware, and you know, it's just an awareness for all of us. Although it's Women's Month, please, men, you know, you have to be here to support us, to be with us. So it's for all of us.
Great, thank you. All right.
Okay, bye.
So bye, Samantha. Bye, MJ.
Thank you.
Bye.
She's waving. She's waving.
Bye.
Bye, sweetie.
That's so cute.
Yes,
How are you?
She's asking how old you are. How old are you?
How old are you? 3.
Oh, you're so cute. And what's your name?
What's your name?
Neelam.
Leela. Ah, you've got such a beautiful smile. I love your cheeks.
This is my normal.
People call me that she's bigger than you. And I've got 2 sons that are much bigger than you.
I don't I've got a 10-year-old daughter as well.
That's life, eh? I've got 2 other sons, a 12-year-old and an 11-year-old. And then there's 3. So, you know, you go through that period where you feel like you've got twins.
Yes.
Then you have and then you go to diapers and feeding. What's the work between?
Yes.
And, you know, I think it's one of the you realize what you're capable of doing. You know, if you want to make it work, you find a way to make it work. That's why I said earlier, my normal, you know.
I've got 4 children, and I've always worked with 4 children, and I don't feel that I neglected them in any way. I've given them the best I possibly could of my attention. So it's about that. 4, 2 girls and 2 boys. I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything. I work. My children are all older now, and we all work together in different parts of my business and their businesses. So it's quite interesting that how we've actually ended up working. I now work with my children. They're my colleagues. Awesome. I wouldn't swap it for anything. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's about balance. We can all do it. We just have to plan our lives and try and live balanced lives, and we can have children and work and do everything.
And be willing to be flexible, you know, be willing to work your normal. You know, that's the thing. If you're not willing to be flexible, it doesn't work.
And I really like that, MJ, about your normal. I think that's very profound. I really think that's profound. You know, it is about, I think now we must create our own normals rather than allow it fitting into boxes of other normals, definitely.
Way. There is no other way, and you've got to allow yourself the freedom to do that. I mean, she was such a good girl. She left me alone for the majority of the time that I needed to pay attention to you. And when she came in, I said, "Come to my lap," you know, because it's about that. It's about that balance and about showing gratitude for what they do that works.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for allowing mommy to join us. Thank you.
It was such a
Bye.
opportunity.
Have a good day. Yes.
Bye.